Hey champions, I hope you're doing well. It is Friday. It's the weekend. I'm always excited about this because I know there's a lot of gameplay that's happening this weekend. Personally, tomorrow I'm going over to North of Exile. If you're up in that area, Midland, Ontario, Penetanguishene, I'm gonna be there doing an open house. It's the first one I've done in a very, very long time, so I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to meet up with Jason. He's such a wonderful guy. So if you're in that area, come swing by, play a few games, learn how to play Genesis if you don't know how to play yet, or bring a friend who's been on the fence, and we'll teach them how to play, give them some promos, give them a deck. It's gonna be a wonderful time. Besides that, I know Ben put out some videos recently about the quality of the starter kits, the wrapping around them, stuff like that. Very, very informative stuff. I'm so happy that he put that out there, because then it's information that I think needs to be spread around a little bit more. So thank you, Ben, for putting that out there. I'm going to be pointing everyone to go watch a video. I think it's up in this corner. Yeah, you'll see a little thing pop up here. And then you can go watch his video. The other thing was last night, Heads or Tails, Stevo the Gamer, and Mac Attack. I'm trying to remember his daughter's code name. They sat down with Carl and talked about lore. So if you haven't went to see that yet, go see that video. Of course, I'll be leaving all of this in the description. Also, I got a really cool package the other day from the art team, so I kind of ripped into that, and also from Scheming Skeleton. So he gave me some stickers, and I even put one on my laptop already. He gave me an old Flesh and Bones one, which, you know, collector's item. So I did an entire recording of me opening that, so I figured I'd share that with you. So let's cut to that now. Hey champion, so I'm recording this the night before. I got some packages and I just wanted to kind of show what's in them. So I know who these are from. One of them's from the Scheming Skeleton, Jordan, and the other one is from the art team. So let's just dig into this and see the awesome stuff that we got. Yeah, I'm actually recording this the night before, so I will be adding it to the vlog. Ooh, Jordan, you made this really difficult to open up without damaging things in the process. But, so I'll throw this in the middle of the vlog. I don't know what I'm talking about for the vlog, but this is gonna be awesome, and let's see what this all says. So, got a bunch of stickers for the Scheming Skeleton, which is absolutely awesome. Ooh, this is the old Flesh and Bones one. Collector items. That's what I'm saying. Collector items. And then we have that awesome Skeleton Warrior signed. I love getting these signed cards from other people because I don't get signed cards very often. People always ask me to sign cards. Okay, so let's put this up here. Sid, thank you so much for everything you and Haunted Castle Gaming have done for my channel and for all of the content creators' gifts. I will continue my scheming until Genesis is #1 TCG, the Scheming Skeleton. That's awesome. Thank you so much. It's it's really cool because I like the idea that, you know, we have people in our corner rooting for Genesis to become #1. I want to see a day where we are competing on that stage. Like, people think that maybe I don't have that passion or that drive to become #1 or in the top 3. I want to get there, but I want to take my time doing it. I don't want to just one-shot it to the very end. I want to get there because I deserve it. I took my time, I built my skill sets, and I just was awesome during the entire process. And, you know, we may not be perfect every step of the way, but we will figure things out and we'll get better. Alright, this one is from the art team. This is a little bit trickier to open up. I have no idea how I'm going to go about doing this. Hopefully I don't damage anything in the process. The wrapping of this is going to go because that's just the way it is. Alright, so it looks like they just reused the beta box that I sent to them. So if you don't know, every year during Christmas time I try to send the artists some gifts, like some of their cards, and I asked them if they get the time to sign some stuff and send it back to me, because I like having signed stuff myself. I made this point once a long time ago, and so I'm a big Joss Whedon fan. I'm a big fan of Summer Glau. She's my favorite actress. I have almost every work she's ever done. And I was like, you know, I'm a big fan of hers, but I think the biggest fan of hers has to be Joss Whedon. Like, why else would you hire someone to come in and do so many jobs with you if you're not a big fan of their work? So it's the same way I am with the artist. Is you all may love Genesis, you all may love the art team. I'm pretty sure I'm a bigger fan. And I would not work with these people for as long as I have if I did not want to, like, if I did not adore the work they did. They are amazing people through and through. Alright, so let's take a look at this box. That's my handwriting. I know I sent them this box with a bunch of cards to sign and return to me. So let's see what's inside this treasure chest. Feels weird talking to myself at times. I need to pretend that I'm talking to a community, but then every now and then I have a glimpse of reality and realize, hey, I'm just talking to myself. That's okay. We have fun with that. Ooh. We got shiny gifts. Look at that. I love little pendants. Ooh. These are super cute. I did not expect these. Alright, so these are going up somewhere. I think 2 of these are a magnet, 1 of them's a keychain. I'll figure out how to show off that keychain in a cooler way. Alright, so got signed cards from Damian, Alex, Philip. Philip's I think is the biggest one, and Mario. Alright, and a small little letter. So let me look at this. It was hard reading this upside down. Jordan's upside down. So this one says, "Dear Assad, first of all, we are very grateful for the package of cards you sent to us, and we all enjoy playing Genesis immensely. Awesome. If you're gonna be the artist for a project, you should enjoy the game that you're, drawing for. So we're very happy to be a part of this wonderful project and to have gotten to know you over the past years. Thank you for this awesome opportunity, and we wish to work with you for many years to come. I will do whatever I can that's in my power to make sure that this art team stays with us forever. Enjoy the souvenirs. We wish you and your family all the best in life, and we hope to meet you in person soon. Best regards, Alex, Mario, Philip, and Damian." I don't know why I have a feeling that Alex wrote this. Is it bad that I think that the female in the group has the best handwriting? Alright, what order should we do? Well, we're just talking about Alex. Let's look at her cards first. Did I give them these little brown envelopes? I feel like I did. And if I did, that's clever of me, because it would have protected the cards. We are using scissors to open these up. Let's see what cards we got signed here. Anger of the Phoenix. There's the signature right there. I don't know how well the camera's capturing it. Divine Coverings. Air Pillars. I love the pillars. The artwork on them are just so nice. Earth Pillars. Water. And Fire. Out of all of them, I think the art for Air Pillar is by far the best. That's just so pretty. It's one of those cards that the art's just so pretty that I have to build a deck around it. So I have an air deck. It's a Kun air deck. It's not the best out there, but at the end of the day, I get to play with that air pillar, and I'm happy about that. I also really like Divine Covering. See, the crazy thing is, the reason why I got them to sign me multiple copies of each card and not just, one copy of each, is I'm probably gonna play with these. I'm not gonna just like have them sit aside and then never touch them again. No, I'm actually gonna play with these cards. So I will also find ways for Patreon members and other people who meet me in different settings to get their hands on some of these signed cards. So we're going into Mario's next. So there's that Enraged Gorilla. I like how big his signature is. Formosan, Kazadon, that's awesome. I love the ones I got multiples of is because I want to play with them. I want to drop a signed card in the middle of a match and have people yell at me because they think I'm an idiot. My favorite card. I got that signed. That's awesome. The tarantulas. Of course, these are the Patreon promo versions, so not just the regular ones. And the Nizu. That's another one of my favorites. We got a nice little collection of cards here. Alright, let's go into Phillips. So the exciting part about Phillips and Damian's is that they did the Champions. And not only did they do the Champions, but they did the Champions in foil. So I'm pretty sure I sent them foil Champions. I am fairly confident about that. So let's see what we got signed here. I like that signature. I have not seen his signature on anything before, so where is that line? There's Healing Fire, Malfeasance, Rapier, Mystical Spear. These are gonna go into my binder. Like, these are that's the one we're looking for. Steve was showing me his signed Cabusses that I signed for him. I think this is a little bit cooler. So there's the Cabusses, Zambers, Giant Scorpions. There's a Champion Giant Scorpions. 4-ball. Call to the Bones. This is the Raise Epic version. Okay. Yamadudas. The Raise Giant Scorpions. Yamadudas. Call to the Bones. Archon of Vigor. Dajin. Nice. There's the Canada Day Zamba Dragons. Signed in the bottom corner. Kokoi. Demon's Rage. Shakti. And Chrono Walker. That's a good one to have there. I'm surprised they didn't give him the Champions. That one's a little bit sad for me. Alright. Let's go with the Myans now. That's the money card right there. Sky Storm Dragon, signed by Damian. That's his signature right there. The Necrolich, Lulu, Guardian, Divine, Alim. That is super pretty. Epiphany, Cog, more Epiphanies, more Alims. Look at these cards. Look at that. That's a nice shiny. I think one of these is gonna have to go to Steve-O. I know he'll eventually get his signed, but I feel if I don't give him one, he'll come after me with a pitchfork. More Necros and Cogashik. That's a very pretty collection of things signed. Alright, that's all I'm showing off for now. Sorry for making people feel jealous, but it's one of those things, like, I don't get the same joy from opening boost packs as most people. I don't get the same, I don't get to trade people. I don't get to do the standard enjoyment of TCGs. But I get to do this. And this is one of the few joys I still get out of the entire process. So, let me have that. Alright, back to the vlog. And, alright, so I hope you enjoy that. It's always awkward doing those type of things because I know what I'm doing in reality. For you, it looks like, oh, it was a cut to this video and yada yada, which is super cool. But for me, it was this awkward moment where I put my hand over the camera and then took it away. Alright, the other thing I want to talk about is the championship. So we talked about it quite a bit back on Tuesday. Yes, we are doing it this year. We're going to be following all of Ontario's COVID rules. As of right now, that means everyone who comes to participate will need to show proof of vaccination. I don't care if you're coming from the States, or Ontario, other parts of Canada, you have to show some sort of proof of vaccination because we don't know how that's going to roll out yet in Ontario. But by the time we get to November, we will know how that rolls out. What else is happening? It'll follow a very similar format as last time because last time it was very successful. We'll do rounds based on number of participants, and participants will be limited by the number of seats we're allowed to have there based on COVID procedures. So it may be a very limited event. I'm sorry, it's just we have to be safe first. I would love to have an open event where we have thousands of people play, but right now we need to focus on being safe. So we'll do that. It'll be a Swiss format. It'll be run through our tournament tool. Hopefully that's up and going at that time. We have our promos already determined for that time, which is super exciting. We have a rough idea of what we want to do for the prizing. We have a rough idea of what we want to do for the auction. The auction will do the same as last year using Bid Beacon, because that was a huge success, and it really did organize things. It does allow people who are not at the actual event to participate in the auction. We'll be using OBS and to live stream as much as we can. I'll look into getting equipment so we can commentate the live stream instead of just having it static the entire time. And then what else will be there? There's so much stuff that we're planning. Of course, for everyone who's there, we'll have food, because I like hosting parties, and food is a very pinnacle part of being at a party. We'll invite some people to come and vend, because I think that's also very fun and very important for the players to have the opportunity to get some exclusive stuff. So a lot of cool things. More details will come soon. I think the team and I are sitting down this weekend to really hash out everything and delegate work and get it planned out. We had on a high level everything ready, so if we needed to go, we are ready to go. Now it's just about executing on those elements. All right, that's all the stuff I have today. I hope my energy is a little bit higher. The past few days I've been very drained, so if it seemed like I was very like, it was because I was feeling very so I'm feeling more energetic today. Things are kind of coming together. So let's get into our spotlight. We're going to be talking about one of the most controversial cards in the game, Epiphany. Is it the best 8G card in the game? Should this card get banned? Let's talk about it in details. So what does this card do? At 8G in Axon, you get a spell that for 10 aura at action speed, you get draw 3 cards. That's it. That's all this card does. But it has so much implication about how the game works, because it allows you to just give you more options in your hand, especially in a game where every card is playable. Then having more options is always more valuable. Now, if we look at what this card, let's look at some of the math behind this card. Up to this point, there's no card that gives you net draw in the game. You have dedicated studies, but what it does is it allows you to discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards. Your hand size doesn't increase. If anything, it actually goes down by 1 card. Unhinged, same thing. Your hand size just goes down by 1. Underworld Dealings, that one actually keeps your hand size the same, but that's kind of valuable. And then you have Foresight of the Ancient, but that's variable. On the low end, you could draw 1 card. On the upper end, I mean, I've seen stacks go as high as 10, 15 cards in them, or abilities in them, so you could definitely draw a huge amount of cards for it, but you're not in full control of what it does. It's not as predictable, and that's where Epiphany really brings value, is it can create consistency within your deck. Now, some of the downsides to this: when you put Epiphany in, you need to balance out with 3 and a 4. If there are 3s and 4s that are valuable for your combo, then that's very useful. But when it's 3s and 4s that are in there to give support and don't actually execute in your long-term strategy, then what are you doing here? You're drawing 3 cards. Well, you drew the 8, so that means the 3 and 4 are still in your timeline. Unless they're already in your hand, there's a chance that Epiphany is going to draw you either the 3 or the 4, and then you're going to average out to a 5 in the end. So it depends on how your deck build looks like, but you're probably drawing like 1 low chi card, 1 mid chi card, and 1 high chi card on average, right? So you got to make sure that those things balance out. If you go from Epiphany into drawing another Epiphany, that really kind of shakes things up and allows you to draw cards. So this is kind of the math. This is the outlook of this card ahead of time. Let's break down the other parts of it, and then we'll come back onto the question of how powerful is this HE and how come it hasn't been banned from the game yet. So let's just look at this artwork. Amazing art piece done by Damian. So it was actually one of the last pieces done for Welcome to JAELARA. He worked on it and was really excited about the piece at the time. There's a lot of things we talked about going back and fixing. This is one of those pieces he would love to go back and redo. However, there are a lot of parts about it that are really, really interesting to me. And when it really plays into the fact of we've never seen Nubia truly use her powers. And here she is. This is how she sees, even though she's blinded by Kendra. This was revealed in the second chapter or third chapter of the Codex. And she uses a glamour spell to kind of make her look semi-normal. But this is how she truly sees the world. It's through the Aether Sphere, and it gives her visions. Now, normally, this wouldn't be literally showing the visions. It would be in her mind. And everyone else around her would just see the Aether Sphere. But we had to find a way to portray this to the players. If you look at Careful Consideration, that's another example of her using her abilities. And that's a lot more accurate. So the other thing about Nubia's ability is she doesn't directly see into the future. She sees multiple different timelines and picks the one that and finds a probability in them and executes off that. She only looks at things that she wants to be looking at too. So if she doesn't know that she's supposed to be looking for something specific, it'll stay blind to her. She's not omnipotent. She can't see everything. She only sees what she wants to see, or what she's focusing on to see. So this is a cool piece in that regards. A better example of how her abilities would actually look like is the card Future Sight from Beta. So if you get a chance to look at that card, that artwork really depicts Nubia's ability a lot stronger. Epiphany was printed in JAELARA, like every single card in JAELARA 2nd edition. It is a reprint. So Welcome to JAELARA was the first time Epiphany was printed. It was uncommon at that time. It was probably one of the most sought after uncommons in the entire set. A lot of people, I think it was the first time we ever saw an uncommon come up to the same price as a rare on the secondary market. So it was an interesting kind of depiction of what the game was looking at. There is a promo version of Epiphany. It was a Patreon promo. So if you're looking for that, that's definitely something to take a look for. And very quickly, I'm going to show you just a little spoiler. Okay. So let's talk about Epiphany. Let's talk about why didn't it see ban? So traditionally, a card like this in almost every TCG eventually sees ban. We saw this with Magic's Ancestral Recall. We saw this with Yu-Gi-Oh's Pot of Greed and Graceful Charity. I'm pretty sure that it got unbanned, but I'm not 100% sure. It's a card that gives a lot of value to a player. So how come we never banned ours? Well, there's two things that go into the decision of banning a card. There's a subjective and an objective opinion. The subjective side is the emotional side. It's what every individual player feels. You don't want to keep a card in the game that is a bad feeling for players, right? If every time a player plays against this card or plays with it, they feel like it wasn't a great experience and it deters them from wanting to play the game, then that gives us pause to sit there and consider, does this card actually deserve to be banned? However, not everyone who played against Epiphany felt that way, and not everyone who plays with Epiphany feel this way. It's actually polarized. There are quite a few people who really enjoy playing with Epiphany. So it wasn't 100% in the camp of let's ban this card. And there are a lot of people who just don't care as much. It's you put in that HE, you got the value out of that HE. Does this card deserve to be banned? It's not as intense as some other HEs, especially if you start comparing it to cards like Angel of Retribution, Lightless, or Purifying Wave. These are cards that are very, very powerful and give their opponent the same pause. It's like, oh no, now I have to deal with this. Angel is actually probably a little bit more on a rampage in meta than Epiphany ever has been. And then let's look at the other side of it, the objective side of it. Now, this is when we start looking at analytically, does this card make or break meta? Is this card so defining in the current state of things that it keeping it in means that people are only playing one particular strategy? The thing is, on if we looked at the 2019 championship, all the decks that ran Epiphany, all the Epiphany focused decks, only one of them made it to the top 3, and the other ones, they did quite well, but they didn't make it there. Now, the other decks that were in the top 3, so there was first place, second place, and tie for third. Of the other 3 decks, none of them used Epiphany, even though all of them were Axon. So that's one side of it. It's not being used a lot in the 2019 championship. But what about since then? Well, I'll give a huge shout out to Will for doing a lot of analytics around the meta of Genesis right now. And he put together a great document looking at a bunch of different decks. Now, this is his opinion and the group of people who work with him to put this together. It's not the be-all, end-all of what meta represents. It's definitely subjective in a lot of ways, because the decks that they have on there aren't even the decks I would play with, or the versions of the decks I would play with. I would definitely make tweaks to them, which I think would prove more powerful for me, but maybe not for other players. And so of all those decks that are on those lists, very, very few of them even run Epiphany. And if they do, it's not to the same volume as it was back at the championship. So where does this card land? I personally feel that the best place for this card is putting 1 or 2 of in an Axon deck, that you're running something like a Raha deck, a Rain deck, and you just need that opportunity to replenish your thoughts. It's a really good card. I wouldn't hinge my entire strategy off of it. I would take the advantage when I get it, but I won't be digging for it every single game. So that's my perspective on Epiphany. If you have a different one, feel free to share it. Do you think Epiphany should have been banned? What's your perspective on it? And have you had the chance to even play with this card? Have you tried the Rain OTK deck, or are you staying away from it? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And for everyone who's left comments on previous videos, I'm sorry I haven't gotten around to responding to those. I will do that soon. All right, that's everything for today. Future League is tonight. If you are part of that, make sure if you're part of Future League, you are filling out the report for it, because the promo for Future League is the Chrono Walker. So if you love Chrono Walker, this is your time to get it. So make sure you're filling out your reports for that. Saturday, like I was saying, is I'm at North of Exile. I know Heads or Tails is hosting a sealed event at their store. And then on Sunday is the demo nights on Tabletop Simulator, along with Dragon World hosting events. If your local game store is hosting Genesis events, let me know so I can promote them in both these vlogs and on our website or on the Facebook page. All right, have a great day. I'll talk to you again next week or tomorrow. All right, bye.